And for us, we're always looking to find good games and over time and teams that will come to Provo. So I think it makes sense. Again, whether 12 years or not, whether that even happens, you know, the way contracts go now. But I think both schools jumped at the chance for a regional matchup.
What kind of relationship do you have with Coach Harsin, if at all?
I don't have any. I haven't met him, just from, I believe he was the offensive coordinator at Texas when we lost to them down there by, it was a close game, I don't remember the score. So I know him by reputation and just by what he's done offensively, but I don't know him as a person.
We've seen Boise. What do they present on offense?
Man, similar offense to what we've been seeing. Similar to what we just saw from Reno. Similar to what we saw from Central Florida. Not identical, but similar. Mobile quarterback, really nice running back. Multiple formations and shifting and those kind of things. But there's not a giant departure from what we've been playing. Defensively, very aggressive. So we've had some crossover film from them. We saw them against Nevada, and different style than they were playing before under their former defensive coordinator and Chris Peterson. So more aggressive, I would say, now in terms of taking chances.
Offensively, you've got your offensive pillar, 24 points if I remember right, and that you've reached that, I believe, in 6 of the 7 games and sitting at 4-3. When do you evaluate, because of how explosive offenses are these days, do you evaluate making a change, increasing the amount of points you're shooting for? Or?
No, not really. Really, the focus comes just on to how to improve our defensive play, and that, man, has been so solid for so long, and we're more youthful. We're more inexperienced. We have had multiple different challenges injury-wise, and so there's been a lot of challenges in addition to that. So rather than adjusting the offensive pillar, it's really been focusing on and working to solidify our defensive play.
But as far as the offense goes, I mean, you win more games if you score 50, and you know, I mean, you got to the 24, you got to the 28, and weren't really able to build on that as much. Is that just
not particularly this season, but if you look over time, it has been enough, and so. And I've preferred to try to get and keep the consistency part of it. And wasn't sure that would even happen when Taysom got hurt. But man, Christian, if you think about his growth from the second half of Utah State through the second half of Central Florida through that game, and he's doing a really nice job. And so he's giving us more of a buffer than what I thought we would have.
Do you anticipate Bills or Philly being back this week?
Possible of both. So I'll list them both as hopeful, but I won't get the full report probably till tomorrow.
Jamal in the same category?
Yeah, I would put all 3 of those guys in the same category. It'd be nice to have them all, but man, the way things are going, better for us to plan on none and then be surprised if we get them.
With the rash of ankle injuries, has there been any evaluation by this training staff at all? Anything?
Oh, yeah. So about every way possible. I've got about 50 pages worth on my desk of different artificial surfaces versus grass surfaces versus pads versus no pads versus the type of cleats versus transition of practices from grass to so it's been broken down about every way possible, and so far, and versus game and practice, and I'd love to tell you there's a specific thing, and I'm actually more frustrated that there's not. If I could name it, I would tackle it.
You'd stop it.
Exactly right. So it just is, I don't know, we'll chalk it up currently to bad luck.
He'd been playing well. You didn't have Taki on the weekend. What's his status right now?
He's back in good standing and ready to go.
So what was the disciplinary issue?
It was regarding, what was it, missed team meeting, I think, or late or something like that. So, yeah.
How frustrating is that for you?
I'm glad we can both laugh at it, yeah. It's just young players learning accountability, and that's what it is, but I don't budge on those things.
How would you assess the job that Nick Howell's done calling the defense?
And Nick has done a really good job. I know that there's the statistics and other things don't bear it out. The one thing I underestimated was the youth and lack of experience. So we had some returning players, or they might be sophomores or et cetera, but the more I've assessed how many guys were actually playing and playing a lot, there's a lot of youth out there, and there's no one that's worked any harder than him, and really execution has to catch up pretty fast.
Is there any cause for concern the fact you guys have had two games where you've had 2 touchdown leads, you've never been able to extend that?
Yeah, I think that I'm not sure there's commonality in it, but really for the main thing for our team to take another step forward, I think just discipline and execution are the 2 words that would really be helpful.
You talk a lot about capturing the hearts and minds of your players. Do you feel like you have that this year? At this time?
Yeah, maybe more so than ever. And it's probably the closest team, if you look at their relationships with each other, that we've had, man, maybe ever here. So I know this, they're hurting and they want to play well and they want to win. And they know that they've gotten close the last 2 weeks since the loss of Taysom. And but they also know that they're not quite executing in the 3 to 5 plays that are separating those wins from losses that they need to, and we'll have to do that pretty quick.
You mentioned after the 4 wins to start the season that outside influences were a big concern at this point. Now it's the other direction, the grumblings and the rumblings. Are outside influences still a concern?
Are there grumblings and rumblings?
Imagine that.
What a surprise. Yeah, I think just with the way this generation loves social media, you can get access to anything you want. You can find grumblings and mumblings, and if you look hard, maybe you could find positives, but they have it all the time. And so I noticed it before, haven't noticed it now, but maybe that's just because I don't notice it anyway. But the players looked tired today, and they looked resolved, and maybe that was because of some of the things that were said to them over the weekend. I didn't ask them.
Is Devon Blackman and LG Brown in the hopeful category?
Not that I know of. In fact, I haven't got a report on either one of them yet today, so I'm not sure.
How much of your coaching with this young group emotionally now do you have to buoy them up and
A lot.
make sure that they're really ready to?
Yeah, there's 2 parts right now. One is to demand, and one is to inspire. So you got to do both, because easily, if you haven't had success, the demand can turn negative pretty fast. And what they don't need is that happening from us if they're getting it from other places. So we want to ask for more and inspire them to give more, both. And we want them to look forward to being here every day.
When you bring pressure, I think you've said in the past, you're doing the same thing you've been doing for the past 10 years. It's just not working as well. Can you put a finger on why?
Sure.
Not as
Yeah, it really, and I've used this word a bunch already today. When you flip on the film, the number of, or the lack of precision and the number of spots per play on the defensive side is just reflective of man, not much experience, not great concentration, and just a lot of guys that don't have much of experience. And so, man, one more gap over, one more head fake here, it really is just the execution of, there's all kinds of plays to be made out there. It's just them our players being more precise, and our coaches helping them be more precise to just have more success.
Because of that lack of experience, will there be any changes defensively against Boise State?
Yeah, we're always looking to change and improve, and so whatever changes we do make will be in relation to not only what Boise's doing, but where I think our team currently is. And so we're always evaluating that. We don't intend just to, even though the model has been in place for a long time and been so successful, it doesn't mean that we don't continue to reevaluate with our current personnel.
Harvey Longy started. Is that going to be the same moving forward? Or?
Most likely. He really earned that spot just from diligence and practice habits and how hard he's been trying. It doesn't mean he's out executing his peers. They're all about the same, but he's just been trying hard.
It's really fun to play football when you're winning. Can the guys still, are they still able to have fun when the success level is this high?
I hope so. And that's again what I hope from our coaches and myself, that we can create that environment. It doesn't happen like this very much here, that there's multiple games or in a row. There might be some sprinkled through the year. Great learning experience, but I want them to look forward to being here every day. That's for sure.
Colby Pearson's been on the field more than even guys like Ross Uphold and stuff.
Yeah.
What has he done to kind of evolve
Man,
the depth chart?
Colby all the way back from spring practice through summer, through fall camp, he catches everything. So no matter what setting out there in the practice field, he catches everything. And so, man, you do that over and over and over again, and pretty soon you start throwing it to him more. And it's not necessarily plays designed for him. The quarterbacks start wanting the ball to go there because he'll catch it.
Did the performance against Nevada remind you kind of the old school BYU approach of setting up the run with the pass, throwing it a lot, and then being able to have some holes because of it?
We're just getting a lot clearer idea of what Christian can do, what he's comfortable doing, but also we need to keep him healthy, and so there's a mix of all that together. Okay. All right. Thanks.